Your officials for today's game, the referee Jack Springer, the umpire Bill Fisher, the head linesman Bill Fraser, the field judge George Wilson, the back judge Bill Simus, and the alternate Vince Wohlers. Your co-captains for Oregon, Tom Keeley, number 77, and Greg Altenhofen, number 86. Oregon in the dark shirts, and for the University of Washington, Bobby Charette, number 15, and number 76 for the University of Washington. Flip of the coin by Springer, with Arbuckle is in at quarterback for Oregon, number 15, incidentally. And the University of Washington on the right-hand side, with Jack Springer indicating that the Oregon co-captains have their choice at the 50-yard line. They will receive. A sellout house, over 35,000 watching the resumption of this series, which is a tremendously important one to both squads. The start of the ball game with the University of Washington kicking off. Willie West is deep with Grayson. The boot is long, that's to be expected. Back to the 4-yard line, taken by Willie West. Down on the 22-yard line. 1st and 10 brought down by Chuck Allen. 56-yard kick and 18-yard run back. Groves, the quarterback. The kid from Kent, Washington, flanks out an end and a halfback. And on the first carry, the fullback, Dave Powell, picks up about 3 yards to the 25.5, 26, 2nd and 7. Canoon and Gegner in on the tackle. Gegner, one of the co-captains for today. Number 30, Grayson, flanked to the right-hand side, and the left end split. Kimbrough for Oregon. Groves, the quarterback. Lots of speed in this. Woo, there's a good spot. That's West. As he gets to the 34-yard line, dropped by Ray Jackson. Nice hold. End and halfback split. Oregon has their first down of the ball game. Throws on the quick hand, and that is number 30, Grayson, and he gets to about the 36-yard line to pick up a 2 yards, 2nd and 8, with McCassin making the stop for Washington. A 2nd and 7 count. Grayson wide to the right-hand side, and the left end is split too. Oregon using a consistent offensive pattern. On the pitch, it's to West, and he's brought down on about the 41-yard line. Nice hole in there. Johnny Myers bringing him down with Ray Jackson for Washington to pick up about 4 yards. 3rd and 3 for Oregon on the 42, their 42, in the dark shirts. There's the give. Up and over goes Powell. He has the first down on about the 46-yard line. Canoon and Allen in on the stop. It's the second first down of the ball game for Oregon on their own 45.5-yard line. They're finding an awful big hole out there just outside the tackle of Washington. Closing up their middlemen fairly tight. They're forcing Washington to bunch up in on them. And it looks like Glenn Casanova has himself a good offensive. There it is. There's that. Now that time he got around there. West, the ball carrier, dropped in about the 48-yard line and picked up a 3, picked up by Roy McCassin, the linebacker. That time Roy tapped it right and had him hold him before he got loose. 2nd and 6. Oregon, a team that relies on speed, and their starting lineup is studded with veterans. On the hole, there's the pitch. And it is Grayson, brought down by Lee Falcon on the Washington 43-yard line. Another first down, the 3rd of the ball game for Oregon. They started their drive on their own 22. The spread with Groves running the ball club with his end and halfback split. That's Willie West. Nice block. Brought down on the Washington 34 by Don Makita, the outside linebacker. 2nd and 1. Washington having a lot of trouble with this running game of Oregon, who last week defeated the Air Force. Groves, the quarterback, splits his end and halfback. He's going to throw it. There's the big one down there, all by himself. Incomplete. At the 10, it was intended for Willie West. They had the pattern work. Slorette was covering. Well, he was near the ball anyway, somewhat. End and halfback split in the spread for Oregon. That was the 9th play of the ball game and the first pass of the game. There's the first down. I believe it'll be pretty close. It was Powell, stopped by Johnny Myers, who got in on him real hard. And let's see if it's a first down. It's the first down for Oregon. They're 4th in this drive. They start on their own 22. They've run a total of 10 plays. White goes into the ball game for the University of Washington. On the far sideline, Len Casanova, who seems to have his best ball club at Oregon. Oregon using a spread. Now Washington plugging up that left-hand side of the line. There's the pitch. And he's brought down on the 28-yard line. That was Grayson, number 30, stopped by Lee Fulkins. Washington moving their ends around, reversing them on defense. 2nd and 5 to go for Oregon down in Washington territory on the 27. Gegner in on the last tackle along with Fulkins. That's Willie West. Brought down on the 17-yard line. Nice blocking. Willie West for another first down. Allen made the stop on him. That's their 5th. And Makita made the stop with Allen. Lots of speed in this Oregon club. It's down on the 17-yard line of Washington. Groves holding. Oh, there's a big hole for him. He holds down to the 10. There's a fumble. And a recovery by Oregon. The ball was whistled dead. McCassin was on the bottom of the pile. Groves was the ball carrier. Grayson flanked to the right-hand side. The left end split. On the quick count, he held and is stopped on the 9-yard line. Groves, the ball carrier. The quarterback stopped by Bobby White, who submarined the play. 1-yard pickup. 3rd and 4. Bobby White, number 73, went in at that left tackle spot for Washington. Those middle 4 men in there are taking quite a lashing. Again, the end and halfback split for Oregon, using the same pattern that has marched them successfully from their 22. Groves gives to the fullback, Powell. He gets down to about the 7-yard line, and it'll be pretty close to first down, maybe a yard away. Gegner and Canoon made the stop for Washington. 4th and less than a yard to go. Groves holds. There it is. Up and over. I think he'll get it. It is at the first down on the 5. 1st and goal to go. That's their 6th. 6th first down of the ball game for Oregon. And a total of 15 plays. So it's 1st and goal to go with Washington now backed off on their own 5-yard line. No score in the ball game. 6:51 left to play in this first quarter. End and halfback again split. Grayson goes to the left-hand side. Kimber goes wide to the right. Throws the quarterback on the pitch out. And he slipped on the cutback, but still managed to make it to the 2-yard line. That was Powell, the fullback, down to about the 2. Stopped by Fulkins and Allen. Down the 1-yard line when they put it down. So they have 3 downs to make a yard. No score on the ball game. Oregon and Washington. Oregon in the dark shirt. Again the spread. Grayson goes wide to the right-hand side. Up and over. He doesn't make it that time. Stop it. Yeah, they caught it in there for a touchdown. Oregon 6 and Washington nothing. There'll be a kick. Groves will hold. Whoops, they're going to run it. For 2. He's down. That was Daniels, and it's 6-0. Oregon over Washington in the first period. 78 yards in 17 plays, and Oregon puts the score up on the board first. The deep man for the University of Washington, they get their first chance to move offensively, is George Fleming, standing back on his 6. There is the boot by Alden Kimbrough, 2-year letterman, and the ball goes into the end zone, and they let it go, and time is called. Into and over the end zone. Washington takes the ball on their own 20-yard line and move 1st and 10 at that point. Surratt on the give, and that's all for George Fleming. Dropped on the 15, a loss of 5 yards by Alden Kimbrough. Washington losing 4 yards on their first effort to move offensively. 5:46 left to play in the first quarter. Washington trailing 6-0. The end and halfback split. And that's all for Makita. He is dropped on about the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard back of it, with Peterson and Urell getting in there on top of him. Boy, that Oregon line's quick. Oregon moving a 6-man line against Washington at the moment, and they go to punt formation. Bobby Surratt back to kick from his own 4. A good boot, high, way down, as they wait for it. Back on the 35, they've let the ball go, and it'll be 1st and 10 for Oregon on their own 40-yard line. Oregon ran 17 plays and picked up their first touchdown. They lead 6-0. Washington bunching up in the middle now on the spread of the end of the halfback, and that's all for Willie West. He is dropped on the 39-yard line by Myers and Bullard. Washington defensively switching to a 6-man line, moving those tackles outside so they plug up that big gap in there. On the 25, Jones brought down about the 43-yard line of Oregon. 4:25 left to play in the first quarter. Oregon leading 6-0 over Washington. The tackle was made by Fulkins. The ball is on the 44-yard line of Oregon. 3rd and 7. On about the 43.5-yard line. Washington moving to a 6-man line now in an effort to stop this running attack of Oregon, which was very effective running outside the tackles with the spread of the end of the halfback, which is again evident out there at the moment. There's the pitch out, and they run Grayson outside, and he is brought down. That's Jones, Cleveland Jones, 150-pound, number 25, dropped by Makita, the outside corner man. Approval by the coach, Jim Owens, with a clap of the hands and telling his men, stay up there now, boy. You're a little bit flat, but stay moving. Rose back in punt formation on his own 37. Almost get into him. A nice boot under difficult circumstances. Fleming waits, takes on the 14-yard line, and gets away from one. Whoa, great coverage by Oregon. Back on the 11. Kimbrough leading the tacklers. 43-yard kick, no yard return. 1st and 10. On the far side, we have the University of Oregon cheerleaderettes and the student body, as both sides put their second units in. Playing the first quarter, Washington is yet to gain a yard from the line of scrimmage. Lorette on the hold, on the give, and that is Jones up the middle to about the 15-yard line, stopped by Harry Needham, fullback. On the quick give, that's the fullback once again up to about the 19-yard line. Needham making the stop on him again. Clanton is in the ball game at left guard for Washington, sophomore. Washington flanks a Gary wide to the right-hand side, and the halfback is split to the right-hand side. That's Lorette on the hold for the first down, or pretty close to it, on a 3rd and 1 situation. It's a first down, the first of the ball game for Washington, and the 6th of the game for Oregon. Minute 40 left to play in the first quarter. And that is Brent Wooten, who gets to about the 24-yard line, stopped by Mike Rose after a gain of 3 yards on the 24. 2nd and 7 for Washington on their own 24. Urell and Arbuckle made the stop for Oregon in the dark shirts. Washington with a man in motion, and he gets outside. That's Milich. Out of bounds on the Husky 30-yard line, stopped by Cleveland Jones, 150 pounds. Don Milich. Oregon, a team that is noted for its first line strength, weak in reserves. And that's all with Quasari making the stop on Jones, the fullback, at the 30-yard line. It'll be 4th and about 1 to go for a first down. Washington trailing 6-0. Ball on the 30-yard line of Washington. And 48 seconds left to play in the first quarter. So what are they going to do? They go to punt formation. With Schlorett back in punt formation, standing on his own 16-yard line. The kick will be from about the 19. Laudenslager and Jones are deep for Oregon on their own 30. Plenty of time for the kick. It's fairly high and not too long by comparative standards. Nice run. He's got the streak. Milich brings him down on about the 36-yard line. Laudenslager carrying the ball. And it's 1st and 10 for Oregon on their own 37. Oregon now starts once again leading the ball game 6-0 with not too many seconds left in this first quarter. That's Jones, brought down at about the 37-yard line, 38-yard line by Brent Wooten. A nice tackle. Not too many seconds left to play in the first quarter. The ball on the 39-yard line. There's the horn ending the first quarter of play. Score at the end of the first quarter play, Oregon 6, Washington nothing. Oregon using the spread once again of their end and halfback. Throws on the hold and the rollout. There's the big one way down there. Way deep, way deep. And there's an interference called. Jorgensen back there on the interference play on Willie West, the left halfback. And the pass is complete on the Husky 29. 1 for 2 in the pass to 5 of Oregon, a 33-yard pass play, and Oregon is threatening once again. Whoa, big hole for Powell, the fullback, as he gets down to the 22-yard line of the Huskies, stopped by Clanton. 2nd and 4, Oregon spreading once again. Washington loosening up a little bit on that outside. There's the pitch. It's to West, and he is dropped, but big, way back on the Husky 24, Willie West. A loss on the play. McCassin and Allen in on the stop. A yard loss, 3rd and 5. Oregon on the spread. And Fulkins gets in there. There's the pass. Oh, West gets down to the 14-yard line as Fulkins tried to red dog. And it's a first down for Oregon. That's their 8th first down of the ball game. They have 2 for 3. We have 1st and 10 to go. Powell, the fullback, stopped by Allen and Myers. 2-yard pickup, 2nd and 8. Oregon flanks out Altenhofen. Groves, the fullback, flanks his left halfback, Willie West, wide to the left. That's Groves holding and being bumped down at about the 12-yard line by Roy McCassin, the outside linebacker. 3rd and 8 for Oregon. Groves has West, Powell, and Grayson in the backfield. The end and halfback split. Groves looking, has plenty of time. Touchdown! Kimbrough, or Altenhofen. Nice play. Be running for 2 points, or passing, either way. Knocked away by Fleming. It was intended for Willie West, so it's 12-0. Oregon over Washington with 12:54 left to play in the second quarter. 63 yards and 8 plays for Oregon. They lead 12-0. Kimbrough kicking off for Oregon. And the ball goes out of bounds. There'll be a 5-yard penalty. Kimbrough getting ready to kick off once again for Oregon. Good boot that time. Manny Reedy tailed into it. That's Fleming on the 2-yard line. They get him some running room. And he gets up to the 28-yard line. Stopped by Willie West. 1st and 10 for Washington on their own 28. On a 62-yard kick. Complete to Fleming, out of bounds on the Washington 35. Willie West knocking him out. Washington now moving with Fleming trying and not getting too far. Stopped on the 36 by Mike Rose, a sophomore, at left guard.
Mike Rose on the attack.
Washington 1 for 1 in the pass department, 3 for 5 for Oregon in the pass department. Bobby Schlett in there at quarterback now, moving his men with the men slotted to the left-hand side, the end and halfback split. That's Schlett on the rollout. Whoa, brother. And he is brought down on about the 34-yard line. Altenhofen chasing him down. Bobby likes to run. He doesn't like to throw. 4th and 4. Jones and West deep for Oregon. A good boot. And it'll be down on the Oregon Duck 33-yard line. 35-yard kick. Oregon again moving to the spread at the end of the halfback. Here's Groves, Jr. throwing the ball out there, lobbing up. Way, baby, Makita's got it. And it's Washington's ball on the interception. It was intended for Jones. 11:04 left to play in the second quarter. There's the big pass down there. Whoa! It was intended for Fleming. Groves was the man covering on the play. 2nd and 10, end and halfback, flooded to the right-hand side. Schlett firing, complete to Fleming, who gets down to the Oregon 34-yard line. It'll be 3rd and about 2. Powell making the stop with Groves for Oregon. On the 35-yard line of Oregon, move the ball in a yard. 34-yard line for Washington. In Oregon territory, they trail 12-0 with 10 minutes left to play in the second quarter. And on halfback to the left-hand side, Fleming in motion. And that is Fleming on the cutback as he gets down over the 30 to the 28, stopped by Bobby Peterson after enough for a first down, which gives them their second. It looks like last week against Southern Cal all over again. Again, the end and halfback split for Washington, this time on the right-hand side. And nice blocking for Don Makita, who powers his way down in there and gets over the 15 to the 13-yard line. Don Makita stopped by Dave Groves. This kid really likes to run on that soft ground out there. It's another first down for Washington, their 3rd, and Oregon has a total of 8. Fulkins and the halfback split to the right-hand side for Washington. And that's Makita to the weak side. Down to about the 5-yard line. 17th play of the ball game takes Washington down into scoring territory on the 5. Peterson made the stop, the center for Oregon. 2nd and 2 for a first down. Bobby Schlett running the ball club. And that is down to about the 4-yard line. Bobby Peterson putting the stop on Joe Jones, the fullback. It'll be 3rd and 1. The ball is on the Oregon 4-yard line. About 4.5-yard line. So it'll be 3rd and about a yard to go for the first down. Bobby Peterson making the stop. He's made the last 3 tackles for Oregon. 2-year letterman, a Coke captain, 6 feet, 190 pounds. Bobby Peterson, a great ball player. Polkins flanked way wide to the right-hand side. West flanks out, and that is in there for a first down anyway, down to about the 3-yard line. The middle of the line, Schlett on the sneak, makes it a first down. That is the 4th for Washington, as against 8 for Oregon. 1st and goal to go. It's 3 yards away. Bobby Schlett holding on the give. On the cutback, Fleming trying, couldn't find a hole, got down about the 1-yard line, stopped by Ron Anderson, the left tackle. Nice play by Anderson. He got down the bottom in a hurry. So the ball is about a yard away from a touchdown. Washington trails 12-0. We have 7 minutes left to play in the second quarter. And of course, you know what the Oregon people are thinking. You know what Washington people are thinking. Oregon with a very fast, mobile front line. Bobby Schlett unbalances to the left-hand side with his backfield on end. That's Schlett sneaking. Touchdown! Oregon 12, Washington 6. George Fleming doing the extra kicking. No good. No good. And it's Oregon 12, Washington 6. Coach Jim Owens with the Flat Ball Club talking to Roy McCassin, number 55, about the situation that they find out there on the field. 41 yards and 9 plays. Washington puts their first score on the counter. Started with an intercepted pass by Makita on the 41. West takes the ball from behind his own goal line. And is driven out of bounds on a nice tackle by Brent Wooten. 1st and 10 for Oregon. Groves flanking the end of the halfback once again. That was a 60-yard kick and a 16-yard return. Fumble! But I think Powell, the fullback, got on top of it, and it's about an advancement of 5 yards the quick way to the 20-and-a-half-yard line. Walter's submarining on the play underneath, and Oregon has a man on the bottom of the pile. That was Anderson. Groves flanks the end of the halfback. It is 2nd and 6 to go. Powell takes it to about the 24-yard line. It'll be a yard shy of a first down. Clanton and Pitt made the stop for Washington, 3rd and 1. Groves running the ball club nicely on the give, right up the middle, and up for a first down, I believe, on the 26-yard line. It'll be the 9th first down of the ball game for Oregon, stopped by Larry Clanton. 6 minutes left to play in the first half. Washington trailing 12-6. On the pitch out, that's West on the cutback. Brought down on about the 32-yard line with Wooten getting in there on the tackle from the outside corner position. Washington spreads out now on the flanking motion by Groves with the quarterback. And that's all for Mr. Cleveland Jones at 150 pounds. He's down on the Oregon 34-yard line. Clanton coming in for the stop for Washington. That kid's been doing real great. He's a sophomore, 5'9", 190 pounds. End and halfback spread for Oregon. They have the ball at their own 33-yard line. That's West, number 20. And he's down on the 32-yard line. Willie West stopped by Brent Wooten, the outside corner man, at the 32, as Washington begins to press a little bit. Punt formation, second kick of the afternoon for Oregon. The first one was for 43 yards. Groves back to kick from his own 24-yard line. Woo-hoo! Hey, they get in there on him! Washington has 1st and 10 on the 24-yard line. Picked up by Bob Eccles and Jim Quisenberry, number 82. And I think it was Eccles that knocked it away. Eccles blocked the punt. Quisenberry recovered from the end position for Washington. Washington has 1st and 10. And that is Don Makita getting down to the 22. I might say right now it's raining quite heavily at Multnomah Stadium. Dave Powell made the stop on the ball carrier. 3:39 left to play in the first half. Washington trailing 12-6. That's Makita down to the 19-yard line, with Powell making the stop on him. Don Makita carrying the ball for Washington. 3rd and 5. 3:10 left to play in the second quarter. Here's Schlett on the rollout. Incomplete. It was intended for Polkins. Jones was in there to cover. Fleming in the ball game now to kick. The kick will be from the 27-yard line. It has to travel 37 yards. There is the boot. No good. Washington 6 and Oregon 12 with 2:58 left to play in the first half. Oregon moves offensively from their own 20-yard line after the unsuccessful field goal attempt from 27 yards out. And that is all for Powell, the fullback, dropped in about the 22-yard line, 2nd and 8. Rain coming down real hard at Multnomah Stadium, and this could hurt the Ducks. Again, the flanking and the spread of the end of the halfback for Oregon. Now Washington flanks out to meet that. Up the middle, whoa, brother, that's all for Mr. Willie West, as he is dropped in about the 25 after a 3-yard pickup through the air. It'll be 3rd and 5 with Bullard and Canoon making the stop. 2 minutes left to play in the second quarter. 12-6, Oregon out in front. Oregon flanks. Groves has the end and halfback out, and that's all for Groves trying to get it. It's 4th and 3 for a first down. Stopped by Johnny Myers. 1:45 left to play in the second quarter. And we're out here on the roof and only slightly protected. It's going to be a wet day at Flat Rock. A punting situation for Oregon. So they send back, Washington sends back a single safety. That's Fleming standing back in his own 37. And the wind shifts around, and we're now really getting the rain pouring in us. Groves back to do the kicking, and he's back not too far back. He kicks from the 20. Boy, he gets good protection that time. Beautiful boot. And Fleming waits for it and takes it on the 27. He has plenty of protection as he comes to this side. And a beautiful effort by that man that picked him off. Alden Kimbrough picked him off, and it's 1st and 10 for the Huskies on their own 21-yard line. 50-yard kick. Washington controlled the ball on their own 21-yard line. On the hold, and the quarterback sneaks. Slurett getting up to about the 25-yard line. You have 24 seconds left to play. The ball is on the 25-yard line. 2nd and 5 for Washington on their own 25.
Univ 3, 2nd and 7.
And before they can get off another play at the end of the half. At the end of the first half of play, Oregon 12, Washington 6.